this sickly, frail, patchy-haired man, beast, crab thing. I don't know what he is. What's the point? And why are all these men following this frailly looking, sickly looking crab feeder guy? I don't know. Now, Damon is literally just a one-man army. He in this mug like he John Wick, and he just taking out everybody and fighting. What's up? It's Nikki. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, King Nikki TV, where I give you commentary on popular movies and TV shows. Guys, I know I'm late like a mug. We got a new episode tonight, and I'm currently filming this video from last week's episode, but I have been so focused on getting my 90s video together for my 100 all-time favorite 90s movies ranked. Y'all, it's taking everything for me to get that video together. I keep changing my ranking. My top 10 is pretty much solidified, but I keep changing other rankings. I keep changing my number 1 and number 2. Y'all, it's a lot of movies, and I feel like 90s is my favorite era. I am trying so hard to I keep being like, I gotta take this movie off the list. No, I gotta put this movie on the list. Y'all, it's a lot, but hopefully I will have it up for y'all this week. But this video will be my recap of episode 3, The House of the Dragon. Y'all, we are currently at a 3-year time jump, and the crab feeder is still throwing humans in the seafood bowl. We start off on the beach, which, y'all, when I tell you, they have done a great job of just making the beach like the most horrible place ever in this show. We have a guy that's being nailed. You know, the crab feeder nails you to the little wood. While you alive, he lets the crabs eat on you. And the guy is sitting here like cursing the guy out. And I'm just sitting here like, baby, ain't you supposed to catch bees with honey, not vinegar? And then we see Damon come through on his dragon. And the guy is like, yes, my prince, save me. Baby, the dragon stomped old boy out. And that's when I was just like, you know what, I can't. Like, I can't. I don't want to go to war with a dragon because he gonna burn me up with everybody else, y'all. Because I was watching like, hold on, the dragon just lighting niggas up. But how you know your team from the other team? Baby, the dragon don't care. He burning everybody up on the ground. So, yeah, I'm not going to war with a dragon. If I ain't got Targaryen blood, I cannot be there. Now, Damon is on the beach. He's calling out for the crab feeder, right? But the crab feeder, he go out into these little caves where he can't get got. He got apparently like some little stronghold, him and his men in a certain area. And y'all, I gotta tell you, I'm kind of confused, baby. Did I miss it? But what the crab feeder doing? Like, what's the purpose? What's the point? And why are all these men following this frailly looking, sickly looking crab feeder guy? I don't understand. What are we doing, y'all? So we see Hightower talking with someone during Viserys and Alicent, y'all. They done had a baby. The baby is 2 years old. It's his 2-year-old name day, aka it's his birthday child. And she like all the way pregnant on the second time. Cause you know her daddy was like, baby, make my grandson the heir. Hurry up and pop them babies out. Lock this itch down. And during the celebration, which y'all, everybody is just blowing smoke up Viserys behind. He has your hair, my lord. No, he's not a lord, y'all. He has your hair, your grace. He has your eyes, your grace. And I'm just like, child, get out of here. But during the whole little thing that's going on, Rhaenyra is nowhere in sight, and Hightower is talking with someone who's like, you know, Aegon, who is the baby, is finally out of his infancy. This is his second name day. This is gonna be grand. The king about to name him heir. And Hightower is like, well, don't bet on it because Viserys not seeing this itch clear. And the guy's just like, well, baby, you the hand. I suggest you make him see it clear. And y'all, when I tell you, I have already prepared myself. I know how the universe of Game of Thrones goes. Evil wins. Evil prevails. Look, Hightower got what he wanted. His daughter is the queen. Her very first child is boy, and I'm pretty sure that her second child gonna be a boy child. He get everything he wants, and I'm pretty sure he will get everything he wants. I'm pretty sure that Rhaenyra is not going to be queen. Just like Hightower wants, his grandson Aegon will be king. Like, I just pretty much know how everything going to play out. Viserys is never going to peep that his right-hand man, the hand, is a sniveling little weasel snake. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Now, Viserys ends up getting approached. They're like, we got urgent news from the Stepstones. And I don't know what, y'all, I can't with Viserys. Like, I really don't like his character. The clock is ticking when he gonna die. But he pretty much is like, yo, hush all that noise. I don't care about what's going on with that war. This my baby name day. This the boy that I've been waiting on my whole life. So yeah, calm that down. And I'm sitting here like, baby, it's a war going on that your brother is involved in. I wouldn't care. I want to hear the news. Now, he pretty much just ignored everything about what's happening with the Stepstones and the crab feeder, and he more concerned with where Rhaenyra, why she ain't here. And I'm just like, baby, do you expect her to be here? I'm pretty sure baby done been angry for the whole, 3-year time jump or however long it's done been. Y'all blindsided her, took her best friend away. Now her best friend is her mom or her stepmom. Y'all, it's just weird and it's just crazy. Now, we see Rhaenyra outside in the garden getting serenaded by Hosea Child. And Alicent slide her tail out there. Y'all, I don't like Alicent. Like, I can't stand none of these high towers. Like, if it ain't the most fucking Lannisters for me to hate, it's the high towers. Lord. So, Alicent tells, the little Hosea impersonator, because he was terrible, y'all, by order of the queen, get out of here. Rhaenyra is like, by order of the princess, I'm telling you to stay. And baby was confused. Sitting there like, but ultimately, baby, the queen word outweighs the princess. And this really annoyed me because I'm like, hold on now, child. Why is you out here flexing your muscle on this girl? You betrayed her. You know your daddy is a sniveling weasel. He's a snake. You working with him. You know what's going on. Like, you know the game. Why are you putting salt in the wound and coming out here to bother this girl? And she pretty much tells her, you need to come out here, come to the celebration. And Rhaenyra ain't down with it. She don't want to go. And she's just like, is it an order from the king? And yeah, it is. But Alicent is like, it don't have to be that way. But Rhaenyra only goes because it's order from the king. So they riding along in the little buggy. And y'all, I get it. You got to move on with your life. But I feel like Viserys is, I don't want to say oblivious, but he just as happy as a pig in mud. And his daughter is just miserable. And he's well, everybody's together. Woohoo. And I just see like, nigga, your daughter is miserable. But you kind of don't really care. And I get it. Whatever. Some years done passed. And I guess he feel like she should be over it. But baby, this was the girl best friend. I mean, she was all cool with you marrying. Y'all even had a conversation about it. But you blindsided her by marrying her best friend. But anyways, y'all. So they riding along in the buggy, and she pretty much just feels like an outsider from her family. She's just like, man, ain't nobody here for me. Like, this is just all about, like, you got your boy. And they get to the party, and Rhaenyra is just pretty much somber, walking through the party. And when I tell y'all, I'm sitting here like, baby, who is this a party for? This don't look like no little 2-year birthday party. And I thought it was just my family that throw parties for the little kids, but it be feeling like an adult shindig. But no, apparently they was doing that ish way back in the year 100, because baby, they is at the party getting drunk and everything. And I'm just like, where the carousel ride? Where is the stuff for the kids? Where is kids? I ain't seen no kids at this party. I don't know, y'all. It was crazy. I'm just like, baby, what is the name? I mean, the name date is the baby's 2nd birthday, but it pretty much just seemed like it's for the adults. It ain't even for the kid. So we got a group of ladies, doing what chickens do. They clucking and bucking, talking all this trash, gossiping about everything that's going on at the Stepstones. And Rhaenyra is kind of walking by, and they pull her into it. One lady in particular want to know her thoughts on the situation. And, well, it's your uncle who, started this whole thing. And apparently in this time jump, I'm presuming it seems that Rhaenyra has not spoken to Daemon since she went to get that egg, because she was like, I haven't talked to my uncle in years. And the lady is just going on about how Rhaenyra is basically like, well, they at war, not the crown. And the lady is like, your dad is oblivious to all this. We are at war, etc. And she just keep going down the girl's throat. And Allison jump in to kind of defend her. But let me tell y'all like this. Allison jumps in to defend her. I think I said Rhaenyra jumped in. Allison jumps in to defend Rhaenyra. And let me tell you, Allison got no redeeming qualities for me. I see through Allison, and I'm telling y'all, she evil just like her daddy. Because this is what Allison's game is. You know how folk do, like you got a certain image to uphold, and people be thinking, oh, well, they do these nice things. Oh, they be thinking to other people. No, that's her game, y'all. Look, Allison's game is, I'm going to present myself as very meek and mild and nice, and I have such a loving heart, and I'm always thinking of someone else. Baby, that's the game. And I peep it. I see you. I do not like Allison, man. I do not like her. Now, are you kidding me? Why these niggas always wait till I record to cut grass? Okay, let me try her to get through this. And we only just at the beginning of the episode, but they out here cutting grass, y'all. Sorry if y'all could hear that. Now, the lady keep going on, and Rhaenyra finally shut the lady down like, yo, shut up and eat cake. Shut up and eat cake. You out here partying on my dad's dime. This is a party thrown by the crown, so just shut up and eat the cake, lady. Now, we end up seeing Rhaenyra just walking through, and we see this guy kind of peeping her, and the dad see the boy peeping her, and he finally approached her, and I knew I ain't like this boy on sight, and I knew it was a reason. This is Jason Lannister, and his twin is apparently on Viserys' council. And he come up to Rhaenyra. Y'all, I don't like this guy. But he come up to Rhaenyra and talking to her about Castle Rock, I think it was called. Yeah, Castle Rock, and how they got, you know, room and, you know, resources to build a little dragon keep. And she said like, well, what y'all mean? You got dragons, bro? And he just pretty much telling her about how everything is out there. And he like, yo, I'll do anything for my lady wife. And I'm just sitting here like, what? Y'all, she was blindsided. And she just like, thank you for the wine. And she walks off. Baby, let me tell you. Don't nobody want to marry no Lannister child. I would not want to. And even forget I know anything about the Lannister. Like that ain't even happened yet, you know, in this series. So let's act like I don't know nothing about that. Just looking at him and hearing him talk for 30 seconds, I wouldn't want nothing to do with this boy. Now, I really feel like Viserys just don't care that his child hate him, because he out here talking to suitors that want to marry her and ain't even consult with the girl. But he was like, you know, he tried to talk to her, but y'all, she don't want to talk to him. And they end up getting into like this huge fight. But hold on for a second, y'all. Did anybody notice how bad Viserys look, or is it just me? Viserys looking terrible. Like he aging like the president of the United States. Like, you know how it's like a running joke that once you become president, like you start aging real bad and aging real fast. That's how Viserys look. He look like he down bad. He looking sickly. And did y'all peep that his whole body was covered? Like, why was he wearing gloves? I thought that was weird. It ain't look cold. I don't know. But we did see his hands kind of in like a later a later scene. So I'm not sure what's going on with him being fully covered during this celebration and all those punctures and stuff he had. We had to put his hand in little nasty maggots and stuff. But they end up getting into a fight and yelling, and Hightower comes over to interrupt because they causing a scene. But I don't care that, yeah, they was embarrassing themselves. I just can't stand Hightower, and he always jumping into some ish, and he just be getting on my nerve. I be like, baby, mind your place. Like, you ain't the king. Now, Rhaenyra ends up upset, and she does, obviously she don't want to marry freaking the Jason Lannister guy. She don't even know him. And her dad is like, baby, you got to get married because even I'm not above tradition and duty. And Rhaenyra ends up getting on a horse, running out. So Christian sees her and he runs out after her on his horse. Now, Viserys is at the name day getting drunk in coup de brown. Y'all, he was just throwing them back, throwing them back, throwing them back. He was tipping and sipping, as my cousin say. Because, you know, you sipping and you tipping, you know, like you leaning. He was, he was throwing them back. And Jason Lannister comes up to him with a gift for the baby for the name day. And y'all, what was this gift? This looked like some kind of staff, spear, knife at the end, but it had a mop brush on it. What was this thing? Why was it a little mop brush on the thing? I don't know. That was odd. And he pretty much, you know, throw his bid in about marrying Rhaenyra and how, you know, he has all these things that their allegiance or alliance would create, because, you know, that's what marriage is or was. And he pretty much is like, yo, she'll get XYZ for her, you know, losing her dropping station. And Viserys is like, what you talking about? Well, you know, because, you know, she ain't gonna be heir. You know, I thought, and everyone pretty much thinks that you're gonna make Aegon the heir. And yeah, this don't go over too well. Viserys gets upset. He like, hold on now, who's saying this? Because you supposed to be reporting any type of rebellion to me. Y'all done, you know, dropped the knee and swore, you know, allegiance to Rhaenyra as my heir. And yeah, baby done fumbled the bag. He done messed up. And Viserys is pretty much saying that he did not make Rhaenyra his heir on a whim. And he just like, thank you for the gift, child. And he get out of there. Now, he ends up talking to Hightower, who comes over, asking him what he think about, you know, the marriage proposal with Lannister and his daughter. And Viserys is like, his pride got pride. Like, baby, he stuck up. And Hightower is pretty much like, yo, you the king. Your daughter gonna do whatever you order her to. And you know, that's how Hightower operate. He knew his daughter was gonna do whatever he ordered her to do. But Viserys is like, nah, I'm not trying to be that kind of dad. I want my child to actually be happy and content, etc. And y'all, I knew Hightower was finna come with the ish, as he does. But I did not fathom who he was gonna name drop as to who Rhaenyra should marry. Y'all, child. Hightower suggests that Rhaenyra be betrothed to her 2-year-old half-brother Aegon. But, like, come on now, child. No matter what, he want his grandson to be king. And he already know that Viserys ain't finna just snatch the title away from Rhaenyra. So I'm presuming he thinking, well, hey, if she married my grandson, he gonna be king anyway. Because he married to the queen. Y'all, I can't with this man. First of all, let's take out the fact that you tried to marry off a 2-year-old because... But let's take that out. Baby, she 15 years older than this boy. When exactly is she supposed to have a baby? She 15 years older than him. Y'all, this is just the start. When is she supposed to consummate the marriage? Like, y'all, this is a lot even for Hightower. I was like, come on now, child. But Viserys was looking at him like he was crazy. Like, baby, hold on now, Aegon is sweet. And I don't think Viserys was tripping on them marrying siblings. He was tripping on the fact that his son only 2 years old. And he pretty much just dismisses the whole thing, and he walked off. And I'm just like, yeah, Hightower, I know you be, you know, the puppet master and getting this man to pretty much do anything, but this was a little far even for you, child. Now, I'm just happy Viserys found it as absurd as I did. But Viserys was walking around this more like he was sick of everything and everyone. Like and I'm guessing it was like an internal battle because he finally got his boy, but he done already made Rhaenyra the heir, and he, you know, has this struggle that he's dealing with, which we're gonna get into later because he actually talks to Alicent about it. But y'all, what is this man named? The guy, I think he's from the council. He comes over to report to Viserys that men are out looking for Rhaenyra and that Sir Christian went after her and that hopefully he caught up with her. And this is the same guy who gave him counsel in the other episode that he should marry the Sea Snake's daughter, right? And Viserys is kind of upset. He's like, what kind of Targaryen king am I when I'm powerless when it comes to my own daughter? And his guy is pretty much like, yo, what was that king? Jaharis was, you know, this great ruler, but he was driven to madness by his own kids, particularly his daughter. And that, look, it's just tradition. That's how it goes. It's your kids. And he ends up offering his opinion on who a match should be. And he says that it should be the sea snake's son for the same reasons that he gave Viserys for why he should marry the sea snake's daughter, to build that alliance. Now, while Rhaenyra is out in the woods with Sir Christian, you know, they talking, whatever. He telling her she need to go back. She don't want to. Obviously, he the king's guard. He can't just leave the princess out here to run amok unprotected. So they out there, and I like that little dynamic, but obviously it can't really be something unless she gonna end up cheating on her husband or something, because the king's guard is kind of like the men on the wall. Like, you can't get married and stuff like that because your sole duty is supposed to be to protecting the crown. So it ain't like they can get married, and he a commoner, so I don't think that could happen anyway. But nothing's gonna come of this unless, like I said, she cheat on her husband or something, child. Now, Viserys ends up telling Alicent that he named Rhaenyra heir to protect the realm from Daemon. He out by the fire. Alicent came over, and Viserys is drunk as a skunk, but he's having this internal battle, and he tells her how he had this dream of having a son who was on the throne, and he seeked this vision and never had it again. And he was so consumed with this that it caused his wife's death. And he goes into how he's having this struggle because he never thought he would marry again. He never thought there was a chance he would have a son, and now he does. And I feel like half of this is he's still in love with his first wife, who he genuinely loved. Now, they end up trying to get this, you know, for the name day, they have to do the hunt. They did this in Game of Thrones with that king. What was the king who Cersei was married to? I can't think of his name. But anyway, at the name day, they do this hunt, right? And the hunt, they want to get this white animal. Y'all, what's this animal called? And basically the symbolism is that the white animal is king of the woods, but Viserys ends up killing the brown one, not the white one. And this hunt was crazy because he don't really hunt. I don't know why it's called that. The men pretty much go hunt, find the animal, hold it down so that Viserys can stab it. Which, y'all, this scene was depressing. Was it just me? The animal getting killed, and then he didn't even do it in a way where the animal just died quick. The animal like suffered and was screaming. It was terrible. But he couldn't even stab the thing and kill it. He stabbed it, still ain't died. They had to say, no, over here to the right. Like, they needed to draw like a giant X on the thing to mark the spot of where he needed to stab the thing at. Y'all, this was crazy. But while he gotta be told how to kill this thing and it's held down, Rhaenyra is out with Sir Christian when this, what was it, a wild boar come running into where they at. And Sir Christian, you know, he tries to fight it. He gets knocked down. The boar comes over to where Rhaenyra is, but I think it was Sir Christian that killed it. But then she is not fully dead, and she like stabbing the thing all crazy. And she ends up covered in blood. And they actually end up seeing the white animal that's the symbolism of being a ruler or whatever, because he's the king of the woods. And she tells Sir Christian not to kill it. So I'm wondering if, I mean, I know she ain't gonna get the throne, but I'm wondering if this means anything. Now, Rhaenyra ends up coming back to the whole shindig covered in blood. She was walking through that mud like a G. And Sir Christian has the animal dragging behind him on a horse. Y'all, Jason Lannister was looking at her disgusted. And she ain't say, she saw, it was her dad and Alice and them. She just walked by them and ain't say a word. And everybody just looking at each other. And everybody just looking. Now, once they get back to the castle, Hightower slithers into Alicent's room and he tells her, you know, well, at first they, you know, just blah, blah, chit chat. about the name day and everything like that. Like, y'all, they ain't really got no real relationship or no loving relationship. She just his means to an end, child. He just used her for his end game of what he wants, and he ends up talking to Alicent, trying to convince her to convince Viserys to name Aegon as heir. And she was pretty much like, is that the man that I'm supposed to be raising who would take his sister's birthright? But Hightower, a man of the realm, is like, no, it's going against gods and everything for your son to not be the king, because that's his birthright as the firstborn son of the king. And Alicent ends up visiting Viserys, and I'm just like, are they in separate rooms? I don't know, but because she was in one room, but I don't know, maybe that was I don't know what was going on, y'all. But she ends up visiting Viserys and tells him she needs to talk to him, you know, to do her dad's bidding, to convince him to make Aegon heir. But Viserys is focused on something else. He's focused on Rhaenyra and marrying, and Alicent tells him, look, she gonna marry, but she needs to feel like it's her choice. And she ends up seeing a letter on the table. She asks, can she read it? And it's a letter from the Sea Snake's brother asking the crown for aid at the Stepstones. And Viserys feels like both of these guys, the Sea Snake and Damien, doesn't like choices he's made, so they went and did this thing on their own. So how would it look for him to go help them? And so Alicent asks him, okay, is it better for the realm if the crab feeder thrives, or is it better for the realm if the crab feeder is vanquished? I was finna say relinquished. I was like, why is that word in my head? Now, Viserys and Rhaenyra finally have a real conversation, because, you know, she just kind of has this attitude, and he don't really talk to her either. Like, Rhaenyra is kind of passive aggressive, but Viserys don't talk to his daughter. When the mama died, when he was getting married, all this stuff be happening. They don't really talk to each other, but they finally had a real conversation, and he ends up saying to her, like, why does everything with you have to be such a battle? And she ends up telling him, like, look, you want to replace me. You got the boy that you always wanted. I'm just second fiddle. And I'm kind of, look, I get where Rhaenyra coming from. I done heard my whole life, child, how my mama dreamed of having a boy that she ain't never had. She had 2 girls. And I done heard my whole life how she dreamed of having a boy. So if my mama ever did have a boy, child, I know I would just be chopped liver, child. But she tells him, you don't have any further use for me. You have your boy, you have your heir, and now you gonna just piddle me off to somebody for an allegiance with someone. That's all you care about. And he ends up telling her, like, you've misjudged me. Is that all you think of me? He tells her that, look, we have to marry as rulers for the advantage. And he gives her this whole spin, and she's like, hold on now, because if that was really the case, you would have married Laena Valerian. And he tells her that, look, you have to get married to strengthen your claim, because not only can you not be a woman and be the heir, but you can't be single. It's just all kind of stuff mixed up in here, child. So he ends up telling her that, look, I need you to get married. I want you to be happy, but it could be of your choosing. It's your choice. And he tells her that I may have wavered at one time, but on your mother's memory, you will not be supplanted. Like, basically, he's not going to name anyone else as heir. He will not take that title from her. But child, let me tell you, baby, she should have listened to Rhaenys. Rhaenys, no, it don't matter that he is the king, the highest in the realm. When her daddy died, these men is not finna let her get on that throne, point blank, period. And I already know how little snake Aegon gonna grow up to be. He ain't finna bad back and be like, nah, that's my sister. Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. He got his snake ass granddaddy. I don't see that happening. Now, we end up at the Stepstones, and we see the sea snake, and y'all, I can't with the wigs they got on these black folk. I can't with these wigs. They are so distracting to me. I hate these goddamn dreadlock wigs. Like, it's killing me. White hair is fine. Their The Witcher. It was, they need to call whoever they need to call in Hollywood, because I know they got the budget for a better hair department for these black folk. We need some better. Y'all, they distracted. I can't. But anyway, we're at the Stepstones. It's the Sea Snake, his brother, and his son. And they're going over everything that's happening, y'all. The food is low. They losing the war. The men look ragged and tired. And they end up saying how they need someone to go in as bait to lure the crab feeder out, because he pretty much has this stronghold in this certain area. He is shielded by the safety of these caves, and he does not come out of this little area. So they need someone who will volunteer to go over to lure them out. And they like who gonna be fool enough to go do something like that? Now the Sea Snake brother is riled up and he upset, and he's like, look, if the crown not even supporting Damien, then why should we? But the Sea Snake calms all that down, and he's like, look, I don't care if you my blood, but you not finna cause mutiny. Now Damien comes over, and a messenger ends up popping up from Viserys with the letter to Damien that Viserys does not want to see him lose, and he's sending I think it was like 2,000 men and a bunch of ships that he was seeing. Y'all, this scene was so insane. It was no words, but it was so dramatic and crazy. Y'all, Damon beat old boy down with, like, what was it, his helmet, and had to be pulled off the boy. And I'm just like, hold on now, child, that ain't a federal offense to beat down a messenger of the king. But also, I was confused. Like, I get it. Damon does not want his brother's help, but why did you have to beat the boy down? Like, is this where that saying came from? Don't shoot the messenger? Because he beat this man. Baby, I ain't even verbally tell you the message. I handed you a piece of paper, and you beat the brakes off me. So the next thing we see is Damon on a rowboat, solo dolo, going over to the little stronghold where the crab feeder is at. And y'all, when I tell you, I got confused because baby picked up the little white cloth and put it on the stick, and he waving the white flag, which you know means surrender. And I'm saying, like, hold on now, child. I know Damien not surrender. Y'all, I'm mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself because I should have seen this coming. But I genuinely thought he was giving up, and I was so confused. And I was like, wait a minute. What the heck is going on? What is he doing? Y'all, they got me. They got me. But I really thought he was surrendering. He kneels down. He hold his sword up to hand it over. The crab feeder come out the cave. He motioned his man to come over. And Damon is really sitting there like, oh, he about to hand over his sword. He really waving a white flag. Nah, baby. I wasn't smart. They got me. He wasn't surrendering. It was a ploy. This is the plan that they came up with to lure the crab feeder and his men out. Now, this was a good scene, but it reminded me of like an action movie where people shooting thousands of bullets and you don't get shot. They literally was shooting down like 1,000 arrows, and Damon was just not getting hit. Now, Damon is literally just a one-man army. He in this mug like he John Wick, and he just taking out everybody and fighting. And after like 2,000 arrows, he finally gets hit, but he's still fighting. And this is when we see the Sea Snake and all the rest of the men come up to the beach. With the fight ensues. Then, child, we end up seeing Rhaenys and the Sea Snake's son coming through on the dragon, ripping niggas up. And remember, Rhaenys is a Targaryen, so by tradition, her son would have had a dragon egg in the crib with him, so he has his dragon. Now, Damon ends up, they cut to him, he follows the crab feeder into the cave, but then all of a sudden they cut to him walking out of the cave, covered in blood. The crab feeder is dead. When I tell you, this felt so lackluster, and like they really dropped the ball with this. I have been so impressed with this show at the beginning, but it's really starting to waver for me because I feel like what a letdown. We've had such a build-up. The crab feeder is supposedly the big bad that has been going on in these first few episodes. Something that we're supposed to really fear, you know, the everything going on at the Stepstones, and we don't even get to see the final showdown between the crab feeder and Damon. He just walk in the cave and then we see him walk out with the crab feeder dead. What kind of storytelling is that? I don't know. Is it just me, y'all? That was so lackluster. There was no climax to this story. We had this huge buildup. We've been talking about. Wasn't it the first episode when they're at the council meeting and they're talking about everything happening in the Stepstones? The Lord Corliss, the sea snake, comes in a huff about everything happening at the Stepstones. He builds an alliance with Damien about everything going on at the Stepstones. Like, and so much ruckus has ensued regarding the crab feeder and everything happening at the Stepstones. And this is the climax to that story? I'm confused. I didn't like that. I really didn't like the battle scenes were nice, but this kind of ruined it for, honestly, this ruined the whole episode for me. Cause I was just like, baby, this is it? This is it? Babe, I know y'all had a budget to show us what was happening in that motherfucking cave. I really didn't like this. And I feel like, is this the end? We're not gonna hear nothing else about the crab feeder because like I said, I don't know if I missed something, but I'm still confused as to why this sickly, frail, patchy-haired man, beast, crab thing, I don't know what he is. Well, I guess he a man because he died like a man, but is being followed by all these men. Like, what are we doing? Why are we following this guy who's sickly and frail, who don't even, and he ain't fight a lick of nothing. All the times we see him, his men are fighting and he's sicking crabs on people, but we haven't seen the crab feeder actually do anything. This was lackluster. This was really freaking lackluster to me. And I feel like I need House of Dragon to pick it up. Like I said, objectively, the episode wasn't terrible, but the way it ended it's like seeing a movie and you're enjoying it, but then the ending ruins the whole thing. Like, that ending ruined the whole episode for me. It was such a letdown. And they out here cutting grass, child. So y'all, I'm about to cut this video. They on my nerve, and I got another video I need to film. Y'all, let me know in the comments, were you as let down by the ending of the crab feeder as I was? Are we really just never gonna hear from the crab feeder ever again? Because this was such a, what was the point of all the ruckus with the crab feeder? Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being patient. I know I'm late with the video. I'm gonna be on time with the next one. I'm trying to get this 90s video out. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.